Hey folks, Ray from DCRainmaker.com here. Today we've got Suunto's newest wearable entrant, which is the Suunto Spartan Sport Wrist HR. Now, as the name implies, it has optical heart rate built into the wrist itself, and so that's going to go ahead and put them on par with other wearables in the lineup, whether it be from Garmin or Polar or Fitbit, having that Wrist HR in there. One of the differences, though, is that Suunto is leveraging balance cell for their optical heart rate sensor. You'll know that, if you follow my blogs and my writing and stuff, you'll find that I love the balance cell sensor. I find it's one of the most accurate optical heart rate sensors out there for sport usage, and so it's awesome that Suunto is using that in this wearable here. We've seen that used in other wearables. For example, the Scotia Rhythm Plus is one that I tend to use myself when I'm going ahead and doing an activity and I want to have optical heart rate on it. Now, there are 3 different versions of this, all cost the same, which is $649 US. You have the black edition here, a blue edition, and the pink, which is officially called Sakura, which is basically a Japanese cherry flower of sorts, but we're just going to call it pink. All 3 editions cost the same price, that same $649 US, and all 3 editions will start shipping out later this spring, 2017. So they're not quite available yet today, but they'll be coming out sometime this spring. There's not an exact date on when that will be, but I would expect it, shortly before it gets too warm out, at least up in Finland anyways. Now, when you compare these watches to the existing Suunto Spartan Sport, you'll notice a few things. First is that it has a black bezel as opposed to a silver bezel. That's kind of a tricky way to tell them apart from a distance, makes it kind of easy. The second thing is it's just a smidge bit bigger than the Suunto Spartan Sport, namely for that optical sensor bump on the bottom of it, and also about 1 millimeter more that's basically for the case to accommodate it. Now, of course, the Suunto Spartan lineup has 2 different watch basically models to it. There is the Sport and the Ultra. The main difference, really the only difference, being the barometric altimeter in them. With the Sport edition here, you now have 2 different versions, the wrist-based version with wrist optical heart rate, as well as the version without it. Next, when it comes to the software side of things, right now the optical sensor is primarily used for workout mode. So when you're off and doing an activity, running and cycling and so on, there is the ability to go ahead and go into the settings and enable basically to check your heart rate at any point in time and show a graph on that heart rate over the previous 5 minutes. But right now that data isn't yet uploaded to Suunto Moves Count, which is the website there, or the platform that you can do training, log, and analysis. Instead, what they're going to do later on this spring is to leverage that optical heart rate sensor data for better calorie data throughout the day. So that way, your 24/7 tracking won't necessarily have heart rate data on it, but it will have more accurate calorie data based on that heart rate data from the optical sensor. You'll be able to turn that on and off, which is kind of a common complaint that I hear a lot of times on the Garmin wearables, that you can't turn that optical sensor off to save battery completely off, and so that's something that is a nice addition here on this watch. So with that, that's just a quick look at the Suunto Spartan Sport Wrist HR. Stay tuned later on this spring, of course. Once the unit comes out, I'll be doing a full in-depth review, in particular focusing on the accuracy of the optical heart rate sensor. While certainly I trust and have really like the balance cell sensor, you'll find that every single company implements sensors differently, and one company can implement really well, another company could quite frankly suck. So hopefully we've seen good stuff here with what they've done with balance cell, and we'll see a really accurate product and potentially the most accurate multi-sport wearable watch out there. Don't forget to hit the like button down below, as well as hit the subscribe button. That way you stay tuned for all the latest sports technology goodness. There's plenty more to come here from CES, as well as once we get into the spring, lots more gizmos and gadgets. Have a good one.